But first, let's spread out real quick. I want us to say a little affirmation real quick. So look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I am who I am. And that's who I'll be. You look good, girl. But the competition is me. Yes, come on, y'all. I know what this is going to look like. I'm going to keep my little scarf on. See, those are good shoes to dance in. I don't want to load your mind with a bunch of choreo. I want to really nitpick and really fix you in areas that I know you're probably holding back and things like that. So I really focus. I really want to focus more on you as individuals and your style of dance, how you're looking. So today that's what we're going to do. There you go. Make sure you're giving me hip on that pivot. There you go. Come on. Come through here. Hey. Yes, confidence right there. Come on. Yeah. You better have that essence rock. There you go. I love it. And sit. Open. Yeah. Look. Around, spin it around. Baby, there's a lot of Look. Freestyle, dude. Woo! That was pretty good for a first run through.
I think it's about time that high heels are talked about because it's a big deal.
Heels is such a powerful thing. It's more powerful than I think people really realize.
In a word, a high heel is fierce.
A source of power, confidence, sexiness, empowerment, a fashion statement.
Overall, I think it's more of like the sex symbol.
I think the purpose of heels is to make you feel confident and to make you feel good about yourself.
You can command the room.
It compliments you. It complements the outfit. It's like the period at the end of a sentence.
The minute you put them on, you feel sexier, you feel more confident, it gives you better shape, a better body, lifts up your rear a little bit, which is always a good thing.
This is really funny. I actually wear heels when I'm having a bad day or if I felt crappy because it's a way of picking myself up.
They symbolize like womanhood, power.
In various cultures, heels are perceived differently. And so for our culture here in America, you know, when you go to a boardroom, you wear heels.
It's just the ultimate symbol of femininity, in my opinion.
It's just something about it. I just feel like it enhances your silhouette, just who you are.
I think high heels play a very big role in making you feel more beautiful, more attractive, and more confident.
But a woman who can rock a heel and just glide, it's not that you notice that she walks so well, she just has this presence.
I would expect like a lady boss to walk in with heels and not flats for whatever reason. That may be a little sexist, actually.
In a general sense, high heels transform the women who wear them. They appear taller, their entire posture changes. The chest is thrust forward, the derriere is lifted, the leg looks longer, the calf more taut and rounded, and the foot smaller. You all know this. These temporary body modifications create the distinctive silhouette and gait that for centuries and in different cultures have signified alluring femininity and stimulated the erotic imagination.
All women look great in heels, no matter what your shape or size or color is. You look great, you know, it just enhances what you have.
There's something about high heels that make you feel great.
I like heels because it gives me edge.
It just makes me feel so damn good. Like, I feel amazing when I wear them.
It's just, I revel in womanhood. It makes me feel like a woman to be dressed up and to wear heels. I don't make any excuses about that.
Heels are great for us. I feel like if we never slid on a pair of heels, our life would just suck and you would never feel elevated.
I'd say we're very interested in being all sorts of women. So we'd like to be pretty when we want to be pretty, professional when we want to be professional, mothers when we want to be mothers. And I started thinking that it was unfair that there wasn't a shoe that let women express all of the women that they are within the day.
There is something about a power, a feeling empowered. It's the equivalent of like woman boss. It's not that you have to have them to be boss, but when you wear them, you do sort of feel like you could do anything.
It's just something about that heel, you know. I mean, it's very feminine, but at the same time, you know, if you have a stiletto heel, you got that sharp, hard point, and it just means you're about business.
My issue with women saying that they feel more empowered or anything with heels on, it's a society thing. It's a mental conditioning to believe that because you're seen that way when you have them on.
Most women don't think about it in that much depth. I think it's been something that's been so ingrained into our culture over centuries. You just get like this instantaneous feeling of feeling good about yourself. It's like it elongates your leg, it makes you feel a little taller, it makes you feel a little sassier.
At the sound of the heel. You immediately already hear the heels coming in the door and you want to like turn around and be like, okay, who's coming in? You know, that's someone that's clacking their way through.
High heels can be seen as a universal language.
High heels are so important to me. They're like everything in my life.
But I love the idea. More eyes on heels, the better.
I think once you put on some heels, it just changes your whole demeanor and attitude.
You don't think the heel, right? You're just thinking, wow, that's a beautiful, confident woman that is walking with some purpose.
Since its invention in the early 1950s, Hollywood and popular culture have enshrined the stiletto as the principal sartorial signifier of idealized womanhood. Embellished with marabou feathers, lace, ruffles, crystals, or finished in glossy patent leather, the stiletto is glamour incarnate.
It gives this more, you know, sexy appeal and more sophisticated look.
Every woman wants to feel sexy. Every woman, I don't care how tomboyish you are, how athletic you are, how frumpy you might think you are, how heavy set, how skinny. Women want to feel sexy in their own right.
There are still segments of society of women who are like, give me my heels or give me death.
Shoes are my life. I love shoes. Shoes are their passion, their expression, their pain, their comfort, their function. They lack function sometimes.
How much you can learn about something that you see maybe all the time or very frequently, but don't really think too much about. As a material artifact, a designed object, and a layered cultural symbol in narratives of desire, transformation, empowerment, and play, the high heel offers a valuable lens through which to examine social history.
People notice you more. You know, and this is just a thought, but you have on a heel, so you are walking taller, you have a grace about you. Your body, it changes your body, you know, I mean, your muscles are tighter, your legs are longer, they're leaner, you know, you're given that impression of a much longer leg, and maybe you're noticed.
I love the way they accentuate a woman's ankle. I love the way they make me feel. I love the way they look. I just think that they're like the finishing touch to an outfit.
I feel like heels are like super important. They make us walk different. They make us stand different. We even talk different when we have a pair of heels on. It puts us in a mood. It puts an arch in your back. It puts some definition in your calf. It gives you extra balance. And then a woman just cannot help but present herself differently when she is elevated. I think they're beautiful. I can see the difference in my posture and in the way that I'm viewed when I have them on. But at the end of the day, I would much rather not have to wear them.
So what is it about heels that we've allowed ourselves to kind of be molded into this thing where you're not dressy unless you're in heels?
So, laden with so much historical baggage, the high heel can never be neutral. This is fully understood by all women who choose to wear them, whether they do so to express power and control, to radically transform their bodies in support of or opposition to codes of femininity or sexual desirability. The true high heel emerged into Western dress at the very end of the 16th century. Like the platform, heeled footwear is thought to have originated in the Near East, specifically in Persia, where mounted cavalrymen wore heeled shoes and boots to stabilize their feet in the stirrups. Throughout the 17th century, heels were an integral element in the Western male costume of privilege and monarchy, particularly at the French court. And here is Louis XIV, the Sun King, wearing red heels, which he established as an indispensable feature of his courtier's dress. And because menswear styling was a trend in women's fashion even then, women soon incorporated heels into their wardrobes. By sometime in the first half of the 18th century, men abandoned heels. Enlightenment philosophy developed and fostered a dichotomy around gender. Where men's heels were straight and blocky, women's heels were more slender and curved. Delicate pointed toes peeping out beneath voluminous skirts, as in this portrait of Madame Pompadour, made a woman's foot appear dainty, which was desirable in this era of Charles Perrault's Tale of Cinderella, which dates from around this time.
They were a little bit constricted. This is the other side of it. Okay, it's like now we think of heels as this very powerful thing, but actually a lot of it earlier on was very constrictive. We took what it meant before and remarketed it. The high heel has been completely remarketed for modern life.
High heels were long associated with the excesses of the aristocracy, particularly in France, where high heels were lopped off like so many heads. A higher heel became fashionable for women by the middle of the 19th century, fueled in part by the revival of 18th century styles. By the end of the 19th century and into the early 20th, the high heel became an indispensable accessory in the French postcard industry, which exploited the erotic potential of photography as a medium and of high heels as a feminine attribute. The high heel was destined to remain the iconic woman's shoe of the 20th century. The 1970s ushered in a new revival of the platform shoe, a style that equally served the groovy post-hippie and disco crowds, and provided what some women appreciated as an extra empowering few inches during a period when feminism was having a profound effect on society. And what had long been the simmering subtext burst decisively into the mainstream. High heels equals sex, an equation that shows no signs of disappearing.
I'm a master cobbler.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I make them. I do a lot of different stuff. Yeah, you got shoe repairmen, and then you got master cobblers, and then you got cobblers. Yeah, certain people do certain things. Can't do it all, just like a mechanic shop. You got one guy in master mechanic. He do everything on his car. When I went to the 9th grade, I took a vocational class. I used to go to shoe shop with my dad. He used to get his shoes fixed. And I started out sweeping the floor, putting taps on, shampooing and cleaning like I'm doing with those. Then I started working my way into doing the other stuff. It's like a flat tire. You know? That's why I see these shoes as like a flat. If your heel ain't fixed, you got a flat. You know? How long you gonna keep going before you wear all that rubber off? These shoes is something else. I like them. I've been doing it almost 39, maybe 40 years. They can't wear them all. And the inside, they start tearing up, like you see here? The inside start tearing up because they're not putting the foots in and wearing them. And they just sit up, and you can take your hand and just rub it, and it start peeling. What we do is the good part about the shoe repair. When they especially if they got a $100 shoe, $200 shoe, or a $60 shoe, and they love it. And instead of them throwing it out, because 9 times out of 10 they can't go back to the store and find that shoe again, because a lot of shoes they discontinue just to make a new fashion, a new style. So they cut that off, and they don't make that brand no more. And people, oh, they don't make this no more. They don't make it. I want to keep it. So if they don't make it, I do what I can to try to make them keep it. On a high heel like this, and it made out of just the plain steel. Those the ones you really can't do too much with, because once the pin get in, it's hard to get those out. Yeah, but when they plastic like this here in the back, if it's just plastic like that, you can work with those. You can fix these any day of the week. And then you can also, even with the steel ones, you can also take these here out. But you have to take the insole out right here. Then you got to take the nails out and pull the base off. And then replace the whole thing here, the whole base.
Whether it's dressing up for parties or the workplace, high heels can be both a blessing and a curse.
Whenever a woman wears high heel shoes, she can expect to have a little bit of pain by the end of the day, especially depending on how long she's going to wear the shoe.
Wearing heels kind of elevates everything in the back. So you're kind of, if you can imagine, your butt's kind of sticking out a little bit, right? Now what that's going to do is it's going to increase the curve in your low back, right? So it's going to put a lot of pressure on all of those joints that are in the back of your spine. A lot of times this can cause some pain because it's kind of like, you know, if you're playing basketball and you jam a finger, it's kind of like the same thing in your back. Of course that's going to be painful.
Whenever you're wearing a high heel shoe, short term, you can expect your center body of mass to kind of shift forward. You're walking on your high heels, most of your body weight's going to shift forward to the tips of your toes, to the ball of your foot. Typically that kind of throws your hips and your spine out of alignment.
It's going to put more pressure on not only the back of all of the joints in our back, but also on the front of those discs. Discs are supposed to be shock absorbers. They're kind of like a jelly donut, right? So when we're walking, they're supposed to take the shock of our footsteps, and they're supposed to disperse it evenly so we don't get any sort of arthritis or pain in our spine, and so our body can move the way it should.
You are walking on your tiptoes, essentially. Typically, it can kind of put your ankle ligaments, make them a little bit weaker, susceptible to injury.
The shift in weight can cause bunions, toe cramps, place extra stress on ankles and knees, increasing the risk of joint degeneration and osteoarthritis, and lead to hip and lower back pain.
Instead of going heel to toe and moving nice and organically, you're moving in a different type of way. And this is going to translate all the way up the body as well. It's going to have an effect on the knee, it's going to have an effect on the pelvis, it's going to have an effect on the low back. So that can lead to issues with movement, and over time it can kind of build up and cause pain in those.
Hammer toes are the areas around the toes here. You actually end up with a little bit of curvature right here along the toe. The toe ends up in this formation. A bunion, you will see here, this kind of
of sticks out a little bit. That can also happen as a result, and women typically just don't like how the appearance of those. You can also end up with something called a neuroma, which is an overgrowth of nerve here, kind of where you get fibrotic tissue, an inflammation around a nerve that kind of grows between the toes.
You're setting yourself up for potential arthritis or any sort of degeneration, not only in your spine, but also in other joints like your knees and your hips. If you don't have a nice strong core, your body's not going to be able to respond to movement, so you could set yourself up for other injuries down the line, maybe hurting your ankle or maybe hurting a knee, and we definitely don't want that either.
As you can see here, they're very small bones that are going to be picking up and taking up all the load when you're walking in a high heel shoe, and it can lead to breaks in your bone, very small ones.
Well, a recent study from the University of Alabama at Birmingham reveals that high heels related injuries have doubled over the past 11 years. Do you believe that? You heard it right. According to the study published in the Journal of Foot and Ankle Surgery, yes, there is a journal for that, last month, injuries rose from just over 7,000 in 2002 to more than 14,000 in 2012. These numbers were based on how many high heel injuries were treated in emergency rooms each and every year. And you would think that most of these injuries would happen outdoors on sidewalk cracks or cobblestone type flooring. But in fact, nearly half of these high heel incidents happened inside of homes.
Wearing a high heel is a sacrifice for beauty.
Why are women forced to wear an accessory that is painful just to symbolize power?
We may wax things, pluck things, color things, cut things. We're putting needles to our face with Botox or a microneedling, or, there's just a lot of treatments and different things I think that women do.
I've already learned my lesson with trying to tell women not to wear their heels anymore. I thought I was going to get strangled one time for doing that.
The American Podiatric Medical Association recommends that women wear heels no higher than 2 inches.
So typically, the longer you're in the shoe, the more likely you're going to have more foot pain. So you want to minimize the amount of time you have to be in the shoes.
This is the big boy.
Time limit.
The stiletto.
That's what I have on, same.
Yes.
Oh, 1 hour?
Whoa. Only 1 hour in
You know what?
the
I'll take 15 minutes.
And you can see we
15 or 5, Drew.
And I'll be perfectly happy.
But the thing about this shoe, though, you have to notice, though, that it actually does have a platform. Platforms are going to be gentler on your foot because there's actually some padding there. But when it's just your foot pounding on the pavement for an hour, that's really about how long you can wear them before you're in excruciating pain.
If you have to take off your shoes when you're doing anything, under the table, sitting down, in between this, that, and the third, you're in pain. It doesn't matter how you put it. If you take breaks within the day, it's because, how many men are just taking off their shoes in the middle of the day? You're not, but women kind of have to because there is a pain associated with it no matter how you slice it. I don't know a single woman who after a few hours is not in pain in her heels. I don't. Now, some women can tolerate it better than others, but there's still pain.
I had a girl that used to wax me and she would say, honey, anything that makes you beautiful is gonna hurt, so you just buckle up. I was like, okay.
There are some women who say they have absolutely no foot pain. I don't know about that, but some women say they don't bother them at all. But I'd say for the vast majority, they do experience pain at some point. Whenever you're experiencing pain, that's your body's way of telling you something isn't right. We need to start doing something a little different. Pay attention to me. Why am I hurting?
Inside your high heels, you're basically standing on a very thin metal plate, so there's no structure. So it doesn't take an engineer or a rocket scientist or an astronaut to figure out that you can probably do better than this.
And so what are you switching that out
And so
for?
what we're doing is using an advanced polymer, which is sort of a ballistic grade plastic, and that is precision formed, and it changes the way that the structure loads. You basically want to provide more surface area and match it to the geometry of the underside of the foot more effectively, because that's what's going to change the way the load distributes.
A hidden danger. Some women may be sacrificing safety
for fashion.
You usually drive in your high heels?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Have you ever gotten close to having an accident?
I have, because the bottom of the heel gets stuck under the gas pedal.
The question is, can you drive safely in heels?
The position of the pedals to your normal foot position does not allow for a stacked heel.
So the problem with driving in heels is when you get into the car, you have a tendency to grind your heel into the carpet, creating a big hole just like this one. And some say that could lead to mishaps when it comes to pressing the brake or pressing the accelerator.
Another issue, those heels could make you misinterpret how much pressure you need to add to the pedals.
So you may not have as smooth a braking or accelerating abilities if you're wearing those kind of heels, even if you're used to wearing them.
So what should a lady do? I mean, because we're not going to stop wearing heels.
Well, the best thing to do, and what we would advise, is take your shoe off.
You can also end up with something called a pump bump. It's a bump on the back of the heel that comes as a result of irritation of the high heel shoe along the back of the heel, essentially.
Every woman loves to wear beautiful shoes, but when they hurt and you slip out, giving you painful sores and blisters, you lose. The original Secure Heels, the no-slip, no-blister, heel-hugging shoe insert, making all your shoes more comfortable for you. Just heel and place. That's all it takes.
When a woman is looking for a high heel shoe, I recommend them looking for a shoe that has a good arch support built in, as well as a lot of padding. You want to look for a lot of padding around the ball of the foot, as well as around the heel, the perimeter of the heel. These are areas that can lead to some irritation and excessive pain after walking in that shoe for an extended period of time.
My name is Linda Pearl Fizame, and I am the founder of Pearl School of Modeling, where our mission is to shape the confidence of girls through modeling, leadership, and entrepreneurship. In 2014, I started Pearl School of Modeling, and I married the modeling with leadership for these girls not only to get modeling, but to get substance and foundation that could carry them wherever they go in life. Our motto is model the best you. So when we think about leadership and modeling, that's how we marry it. So wherever you go, life is your runway. So if you're walking down the hall, you better walk down the hall. You get what I'm saying? Modeling the best you, whether you're a teacher, whether you're an attorney, defending a case, whether you're a doctor, you know, performing a strategic surgery, you walk with that presence. Next person I want to introduce is Lola and Adelin. They are here. Let's give them a hand. They are here doing a documentary discussing why do women wear high heels? Why did we even start wearing high heels, right? Because sometimes high heels can be uncomfortable. Sometimes when you wear them, though, they can make you feel more confident. So what is this thing behind the high heel? And then the reason why they wanted to come and visit us is because this is kind of like a rites of passage into learning how to work your high heels and wear your high heels. So they are capturing all of that so that they can have it for their documentary. So that's what's going on over here, okay? So let's give them a hand again. Thank you for coming. I didn't enjoy heels very much when I started walking in them. However, when I became a model and it became something that's a tool for us, I began enjoying it. The curriculum that we have for these girls here are on a collegiate level. So they're already learning how to present. So when they get to college, they already know how to present. They know how to public speak, you know. So those are a lot of transferable skills that they can take with them to college. When they come to the school, a lot of them never walked in heels, you know, and I'm sure you're going to see some of that in the video, that some of them are more developed than others. And I like seeing the transformation because it's a discipline to walk in heels. You know, some women choose not to walk in heels. So I like seeing the transformation and the discipline that it takes for them to study and walk in those heels properly. The modeling school is something that's dear to my heart. It's something that's for the community. We're a nonprofit organization. We don't charge as much as the other modeling schools. We literally charge half of what the modeling schools charge. And it's because I want to give these girls what I yearned for, you know, as a teenager.
It's something that we look forward to as little girls. Now that I think about it, I mean, really, it's something that even my daughter, who's 9 years old, when can I wear high heels? When can I wear high heels? Like, that's like something that immediately pops into their minds. That's when you're grown up. That's when you're a lady. You can wear high heels. No, you're not allowed to wear high heels now. You're 9.
I just wanted to attract the feeling of being sexy or the thought of being sexy, and that's what you do when you wear heels. As a girl, as a woman, you wear heels in order to get that kind of attention.
You know, that was a staple to becoming a young woman. It's like, I'm going from middle school to high school, you know, no more Jordans and Chuck Taylors. I gotta wear heels.
It's definitely not a shoe that you come out of the womb wearing, right? It's a progression for sure. And even the height is a progression, you know, because it starts as just very small. And then, you know, you go a little higher and a little higher and a little higher. As you get older, it goes back down.
It all goes back to what we wear and how we accessorize, of the impression that we give other people. Are you romantic? Are you seductive? Are you, you know, more reserved? And just helping you find that style of clothing.
The style, like, do I want like a sandal heel? Do I want a pump? Do I want, I'm short, so, you know, heels that come up to the ankle make me look shorter because they cut my ankle off. So it's like, okay, but I had on a skirt, so I kind of wanted the shoe to be a little higher because it makes the short skirt look less shorter. It is a science. It's a science.
Here are some do's and don'ts while you're walking. Make sure you walk heel first because it's going to stabilize the foot and give you more balance. Don't walk toe first because it just looks awkward and clunky. While you're practicing, place one foot in front of the other. It's a great way to help identify your signature walk. Here's some tips for going up and down stairs, which at first can seem a little scary. When going up the stairs, it's best to go toe first. If you're leading with your heel and you misjudge a step, you could lose your balance. For going down the stairs, plant your entire foot on the stair and make sure to hold the railing when going down. It's easy as that, guys. Put all those tips to the test and the world is your catwalk.
So if you're anything like me, you keep a stash of heels at work. These are mine. And these belong to my coworker. Lucky woman.
Professionally, I dance on stage. I've done music videos. Most of those require heels. Any audition I've been to has required me to bring heels. It's a part of your dance bag.
If I'm wearing them to set, red carpet event, you know, it's a constant accessory in my wardrobe, heels.
It grows to just be part of the uniform.
It's part of the entire look and a little bit of what's expected from a certain type of event or style that you're trying to portray.
To a certain extent, I think women are pressured to wear heels. I think if you don't wear heels, you're kind of looked down upon a little bit. Just a slight side eye.
Women, high heels, and I have to say this, when I first started working here at Good Morning America, coming from ESPN, from the sports world, I would wear flats. And my bosses didn't give me pressure. women watching they were like, why aren't you wearing heels?
Because they felt it looked more professional if you were in a heel. I do think a little bit of that is going away. I mean, there's certainly, you're completely right, there has been this idea that if you wanted to dress professionally as a woman in the workplace, you had to wear a heel. And yes, women do dress for other women. But what I see with young women is that they're saying, listen, this is about my personal style. Maybe I'm a heel lover, maybe I'm not, but what I put on my body reflects who I am and what I'm comfortable with, and I want to be able to express that when I'm at work.
No, you don't want to just be acknowledged for the way you look or what you're wearing or whatever have you, but sometimes it's like the saying, if you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you convey that to the world. And when you feel good, you let the world know, I'm confident, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm this, I'm that. And if a heel helps you feel that way, go for it.
I became a shoe entrepreneur because I've always loved shoes, and every time I looked for a shoe for a special event, I would find myself never finding the right shoe that I had envisioned in my head. Roulette shoes came from the beginning stages in my designs. I would design shoes that had a lot of spikes and chains, and they were real high heels, higher than average, 5 inches on up. And I felt like for you to wear the shoe, if you weren't an experienced high heel wearer, you might twist an ankle or break a foot. So I thought it was just the perfect name to go with the company. When I design my shoes, I always think of the outfit. I base my designs off of what I'm wearing, and I go from there. From the color to the length of the heel, everything.
I'll never forget, we were getting ready to get dressed and we were walking out, and I was like, okay, I'm coming. And somebody said to me, I don't even remember who said to me, they was like, all right, Miss Hill, okay, Miss Hill, you and your heels, put your heels on. And I saw it. I saw it in my head. I had what Oprah, like, I had a light bulb moment where the hair stand up on your head, and I had a light bulb moment where I was like, oh, I saw my name being spelled H-E-E-L rather than H-I-L-L. And I told them there, I was like, oh my God. And they were like, what? I was like, I'm going to have a store where we sell nothing but heels, and we're going to call it Miss Hill. And they were like, that is a good idea. I was like, oh, I couldn't wait to get to a computer to see if someone had Miss Hill as a name, that I was going to buy the domain. And they didn't. And I bought it. 3 inches or more, darling. 3 inches or more. And because I love French, I think in my other life, I think I was a French woman. 3 ponces, s'il vous plaît, means 3 inches or more. Well, that's what Google said. I know how to make people feel good. I have a natural knack for making people feel good. And so I guess our niche was, we were high heel shoes. You know, we called ourselves affordable glam. You could get great shoes, great hosiery, accessories, handbags at great prices. That was our thing.
This is fashion. It's a triangle. Everything filters from up here to down here. If you can design up here at this level, it's very easy to filter it down. So that's why I don't like teaching students to design at this level, which is like the much cheaper commercial. The consumer is always at least 2 years behind the designer. The designer, by the time the consumer's going crazy for the product, the designer's normally already bored of the product.
You can pick the heel you want. If you want a kitten heel, if you want a stiletto, if you're looking for a chunkier heel, you've got whatever you're looking for at whatever height. And look at the color combinations as well, which is very Parisian.
We are socialized to wear them for the attention that they give us from the opposite gender norm or a person of interest.
Men like high heels as well, so it doesn't only make the woman feel more confident and sexy and it gives them a better shape, but I think also the counterpart, male, like women in heels as well.
I don't want to be judged by my looks, but if I know I am going to be judged by my looks, then I play the game.
Wearing high heels is absolutely a game. It's part of the game. For women, it is the game. The way we look at each other, it's not just the way men see us, it's the way we look at each other. Like a girl sees it, another girl's heel. Oh, I got her, you know. Women, we be petty. Y'all know, we be petty. But at the end of the day, it's part of the game and we play it.
We are here at Vertical Joe's Fitness, which is the professional women's playground. Initially, the name was going to be like Average Joe's, but it was way too many Average Joe's, and we realized that we were well above average. So we decided to go with vertical because we do so many types of exercises that bring us vertical, including pole, but we also do suspended yoga, we also do aerial hoop, we also do silk. So those are different ways to put us airborne and for us to go vertical. And the secret is out. Joe is me. My first name is Torwa, my last name is Joe, and people have called me Joe as my alias for years, so I am Vertical Joe. I always say that, you know, pole found me, I didn't find it. Pole dancing is so therapeutic. I think sometimes people don't understand that when you come into a class and you put on your heels and you put on your shorts and you begin to vibe off of the music and start to dance and receive instruction and just let your hair down, it's really, really soothing. Pole dancing over the years has evolved so much. Like, it's really crazy. At first it was very taboo, and it's still taboo, but you gotta like really be lame to think it's taboo now. I go out, I usually may be more in a civilian shoe, which would be like a 5-inch heel.
Get this, baby. 8 inches in your face, honey, bound.